over here talking. Welcome aboard to WT Biscuit. Thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry. I'm over here talking away and my mic was muted. Okay, so sorry for all those that are all of a sudden watching. There was no mic. So welcome to another day of Cosmoteer. Here I am. I was building. I guess I got to go back and showcase what I was doing. So I'll go back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is this one right here. As you can see, with the much more heavy armor, I've been playing hours and hours of it. The first one, which I was showing, the first battle, I was just showing swarming method here. So the first battle that I showed, and we'll just reiterate it. I know the first 5 minutes are probably just edit it out and take it out or something. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have a 9 version and an 8 version. I was building 2 versions. Now you see right here, this tiny bit of armor right here. This makes it so that instead of them shooting these cannons at the back, they shoot down the actual middle. You see right here? These cannons should be the last cannons that go down. These back cannons right here should be the first to die. Or first to go down. See right here? I lost this cannon. That's on purpose. I don't want them to shoot down my middle. My middle's my main everything. Everything is in the middle. So when you add just one extra layer of armor right here, it stops them from shooting these cannons from a front-to-front facing. So that's why this 9 version I'm not keeping, but this version 8 I will. And you can see just adding a tiny layer of armor on the back right here, this ship will 100% always lose. Where this ship right here, number 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, will always win. All because of one layer of armor. Now some people don't really realize that and they build their ships all sorts of things. I know it looks goofy, I'm going to fix it up and make it look better. But I'm just trying to showcase armor to AI ratio. One layer of armor makes a huge difference at whether or not the ship can win and or lose. It's a big difference. So just something you can see. Now I know I lost the middle right there, but they're going to start shooting the sides and stuff. And maybe this ship will win. It usually doesn't ever win because you blow up the middle right here and you lose all this. And then you can blow up this. So yeah, one layer of armor it can make a huge difference in how the game and how the battles actually played out. Now obviously, this is a rare case scenario where this ship looks like it's going to win, but I don't want these cannons in the back to be the last cannon standing. I actually prefer the middle cannons, because that's your main point, to be the middle cannon standing. Now I do need to add probably a tiny bit more armor in the front, because something I also was researching and realized as well, and I'm going to just showcase this. See these little diagonal ones? These diagonal pieces right here, when you click on them, they only have 6,000 hit points. Or if you go and you take the 2 stick ones, these have 8,000 hit points, as well as more armor. So if you actually go into the build menu here, these diagonal shaped ones, even though they look cool, if you look at it right here, you hold the Alt key down, 6,000 hit points and armor penetration -2. Or if you come over here and you look at this piece right here, 8,000 hit points and penetration resistance -6 meters. Huge difference, and this only costs 400 and it's 300. So only 100 less, but you get so much less penetration. So even though the design actually looks cool right here, and I have this dragon looking, it actually adds a lot less defense for the front because of the design. That's why I use these blocky pieces, because the blocky pieces actually add a ton more protection and more hit points for cost efficiency. And you can see right here, the tiny bit more armor. Yes, I lost this cannon, but I wanted to lose that cannon first. And the main reason I want to lose the cannon first is, you see right here, I destroyed this ship in the middle. Once you lose your middle of the core of the ship is basically gone in so many aspects. So just the tiny pieces of armor right here, you force them to fire at things that maybe you don't want them to fire at. Anyways, I'm glad WT Biscuit you saw that and understand it. Now the next thing that I was testing, I'm sorry my audio was off, was I was testing the swarming method. Now the swarming method is very important, and these little ships are actually very, very deadly. And I'll showcase why these ships are deadly a little bit later. You see how cheap they are? 24 crew, so 96 crew, 700,000, and you watch how these ships come in. Now normally against other ships, if you're not heavily armored, you could tear up another ship. And the main reason why I use the swarming methods is you want to see what angles you're getting shot at from. From the side, from the back, from all over different angles. Now I know I have a weak point right here in the back. because I made smooth corners, you see right here. This armor right here is actually kind of useless. I'd rather put a 2-piece block than this curved one. So I'm going to probably fix this a little bit as well. Adds a tiny bit more weight. But for, you see this back armor right here, you see? Design-wise, armor-wise, not as good. So adding an extra layer back there, as you can see, that's the weak point. And so getting swarmed like this is important because when you're playing in-game, you're not going to be just fighting one ship. You're going to be fighting multiple different ships. And you got to see where is the AI shooting at and where are your weak points. And you can see that's my weak point. Now my front armor is good, but my back armor right there is kind of useless. And the back armor is right here as well is also kind of useless as well. So we're going to try to fix it up. Now you see I still did take all these ships out. But now if I were to take pure combat ships, something I know that I won't be able to handle so well, and I take these ones. See how this one's is just a little bit more and a tiny bit more crew? But these ships right here are even more deadly than what I just faced. These are speed ships, these are slow ships, but these ones are built purely for combat, not for speed. And these ships right here, if I were to take 4 of these, 112 crew, 654, even cheaper. Well, I don't know about cheaper. I guess it's maybe cheaper-ish. I don't know about cost-wise. But you watch these. These ships right here are designed with shields and everything. And they should actually do not as bad as they're doing right now, but you see how they just tear through on certain angles? Maybe they don't do as bad as others. Those speed ships are designed to be speed and damage and cost of crew affection. But there's a continuity of armor versus mobility. This is true, WT Biscuit. So add a ton of armor. They're not fast. This one's going to be designed, and hold on a second. It's my mom. Sorry about that. My parents are here. They're here for a wedding. So they were up. And now they're coming back. And I just put a turkey in the oven. So I'm making my Thanksgiving dinner early. So I had to make sure that they came when the turkey's done. Okay, so. Just like WT Biscuit, like he's saying, speed. This tank, I don't know why I keep calling it a tank. This right here, even though it's heavy in armor, speed-wise, it's not that much slower than my original 6-cannon or original 6-cannon ones. What I do right here, and here let me just showcase this for speed because I love that question, armor to speed. Clear everything off. If I were to take one of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I would have taken this ship right here, and then take this ship right here. These are my 6-cannon ships, right? Now you test the speed fire this one right here, and you test the speed. And I'm going to fly them separately so that you can see all the different speeds. This one right here, it flies, I think it flies at 80 something. And this one just flies 87 and 87. So weight wise, I lose about 7 ms per a second, meters per second. But you can see right here, this is the main one. Now the nice thing about when having a tank like this, and purposely building this one like this, is the AI will try to fire at this one first as long as I make it go in first because it's higher cost. And so these ones, the idea is they can come in and they can maneuver around and they can flank behind other ships as needed. I'm holding the shift key down. Someone once asked how I always have these. You hold the shift key down and you can have them go at different angles. And these ships, because they're a little bit faster and cost a little bit less, can flank in, where this ship right here was purposely made to tank just a little bit more. Now I do have to improve the back armor right here because it did mention that, right? We saw that the flanking ability right here, this back armor right here, we need to fix that. Now obviously the design doesn't look cool, but you just add in just the tiny pieces, right, just like that, and you figure out, okay, where are the weak points on this ship? And I know that this is a weak point as well, so I probably have to fix it as well. But we'll just put that right there because we see what the AI did. And then we're just going to go over here and we're going to resave over 9. Now I know I showcased 9 I don't need 9 anymore because I know the armor that way is going to mess it up. Now that we redid that, let's clear everything. Oh, we're misclicking, sorry about that. Clear everything off. Now let's put in number 9. I already resaved over it. Get rid of 8. And we'll redo the flanking ability here. Now another thing I want to showcase here and learn as well, show you everybody, is point defenses on diagonal ships are not as effective versus flat. They actually changed the point defenses in the game from all the different patch builds. I don't know where they announced it. I didn't read the notes. Just experiencing it. I'll showcase that a little bit later. But you see, what I want to see is, do they still fire at this piece right here? Because I added extra armor. Because remember, armor to AI ratio. Where are they going to shoot? I'm trying to see if they actually shoot this. And you see right here, this is the weak point right here. So they're no longer shooting at this piece because I added difference. They're now shooting. They're shooting randomly. They're not focused on the cannons. And see, I didn't lose a single cannon in the back. Just because I added one extra layer armor right where they were shooting. So 4 is not going to cut it. So now what we do is we're going to swarm it even more. We're going to put a 5th one in there. If you're going for a tank, then wouldn't it be better to drop the disruptors and just have a brick of armor? No. I want a tank that can do damage, WT Biscuit. I want a tank, you see this tank? As a tankling ability. I want it to still have full firepower and damage and not lessen its ability to rip other ships apart. Because if this ship was alone, like say I lost all my other secondary ships, I want this ship to still be able to devastate other ships. And if I don't lose any cannons versus 5 of these guys, I'll actually be pretty impressed. I still lost one right there, but I lost it from the frontal armor, which is still good. I didn't lose it from the back. I mean, I sacrificed a little bit of speed, but you see all these points right here give it so much more protection. Now the disruptors are there purposely to be able to rip other ships apart. Now these ships right here don't have any shields. So because they don't have any shields, they're not designed for combat aspect, they're designed for speed. Now I took out all 5 of those ships, and that's a good test right there. And if we want to come over here, I know these 6 ships is definitely going to cause even more damage. Now we're actually being way beyond this cost and crew wise. This is not something you probably face in the game as far as heavy damage. Maybe you'll still face it if you play on a higher settings and whatnot. So this right here you see, now I can see this is a tiny bit of a weak point-ish. That one right there only have 2 stacks of armor. But I gotta be careful when I add more armor, where does the AI decide to shoot from there? And so even though I added all this extra armor here, WT Biscuit, I'm still able to take all the damage and do all the damage with just one ship, which is what it was designed to do. I know it doesn't look nice. I haven't fixed up how the armor should look. I was just doing armor to AI ratio to see where they would shoot and how much it could take on. Now you see it still have great maneuverability. I can still turn. I can still face the enemy. I still haven't lost any of my main cannons, and it's doing great. And all I did was the change was I added 2 pieces of armor back here for aesthetic looks. I got rid of the aesthetic look. Now I still lost 1 cannon, but I got rid of this one aesthetic look and added the armor, and now they're not shooting from behind here. The AI is trying to shoot at everything else. And you gotta add a little armor, and you gotta test to see the swarming method to really see where is the AI planning to shoot and where are my weak points. And once you cover up all your weak points, then you can work on the aesthetic look to make it look cool. I'm not trying to make it look cool, I'm just trying to make it, is it effective? And is it, if it's effective now I can change the aesthetic look, and when you change the aesthetic look, that's when you also have to think of, okay, armor to ratio again. So I may leave it as is just now. I know it's clunky and whatnot. Still looks kind of cool to me, but that's that one. Now I know I didn't have audio when I was doing this other one, but here, we'll pull in this one. Now this is another ship I was working. Shell is the one to make it. I know I'm changing his name. He goes by, originally by Hosep. He wanted me to call him Shell, so I'm changing his name to Shell on everything. So here in Shell, he made this ship. Now I modified it extensively in many different ways. I added more crew, I added more shields, I changed up the back so the back actually has armor. Hey, Bendor Sniper. I don't know how I can pronounce it. J Julu, you're online, hurrah. Yes. I've been busy of recent. Sorry I haven't been able to make so many videos, but we're going to be playing Cosmoteer again because Cosmoteer is something I'm coming back to build. They've made significant changes on all different levels. Now you see this ship right here torn apart because this one is far more effective with cannon placement, shield placement, armor placement. They're basically two separate ships. The front is the tank, the back is the boosters. Amazing, amazing ship. That wholesome design. And all I did was I made changes to it. Now, okay, we'll do the same swarming tactic. Now, the only thing about the swarming tactic that Shell's ship that he had problems with originally is Shell's ship didn't have any armor in the back. And I'll show you the original here soon. All this armor in the back, you can see right here, I took this from the other ship. The armor in the back is there. He has no armor in the back, and he has no armor for these boosters. So if any of these ships you see right here, they're firing in the back, get in the back, it can suffer some heavy damage. Now obviously you see right here, this ship can turn and face and do all these other different things. But a lot of times in the game, if you don't have back armor, you're gonna lose your ship in many different ways. And you see right here, it's the turning ability, the ability to face wherever it needs to face, and sustain some damage in the back, which is very important when facing it. Now if I lose this armor right here, I'd be in big trouble. But normally when you obviously take out a ship, you can turn your ship fast enough, which you see the ship has great maneuverability because of how he has the boosters designed. I saw the boosters design and I was like, I need to make a modification of this ship and make it normal. I added shields in the front here, tiny bit more crew, made it 150. Before to take on a battle like this is how you test it. And these little ships are very, very powerful. Now Zonskool, another person that really likes to build ships, he built a ship, and this is one of the reasons why I'm coming back too, is he built a ship, and here, let me pull on this ship, and I want to showcase this. Well, I want to showcase the original booster. Here, let me go find it, wherever I put it. Maybe I call it wholesome. Right here. Here's one of the more originals. And you can see right here, he has a different type of head. He has less shields. He has less crew. If you look at it. So 138 compared to 150. But the difference here is I smoothed out the top of the head, gave it a little bit more armor on the front, put more shields, and armored up the back. You see right here, his original ship has no armor in the back for the boosters. If you lose your boosters and your engine rooms, you're in really big trouble when it comes to game. Yeah, yay, it's pronounced. Oh, yay, yay, okay. Yay! Now, when they're facing each other, they don't make a big... I'm going to say Shell's original or Wholesom's original ship definitely stands a chance. But you can see right here, because of the armor, I changed the armor, lost the middle. Once you lose that, another middle, the front, once you lose the front, game over. So I added the extra shields, the extra crew as well. Now he had it perfect for the perfect amount of crew in there, but I added a whole nother stack of 6 here, 6 here, to 12 more crew. So even though this engine room, this large core can go red, I wanted to go red for enough people to supply all the shields. So it just needed the extra 12 more people to come in here to help. And you can see right here, I win just because I added more armor in the front and not sacrificing that much more boosters and that much more speed. So this is a new design that I'm still working on it, still work in process. But, because obviously you see right here, this back design is not designed very nice. It's just to protect the boosters. So I'm going to figure out how to make it better. Now, the other thing that I want to showcase here is with these little ships. Now, I know I was just coming in and swarming in and destroyed. But if I come over here and put it in here for right now. Okay, so this is Zonskool's ship. Now, this is one of the recent ships. The reason why I come back for Cosmoteer as well. He designed this, and this is a beautifully designed ship. However, when you're facing against a diagonal ship, I see I have no shields or anything. This ship right here can still win versus this ship. Not all the time. I would say maybe a 30, 70. So 30% of the time this ship can still win. But you see how much damage it did right here? He almost lost it right here. Just because there's not enough armor in the front. But this ship right here has great maneuverability, great speed. I really do like it. But you are missing Heroes on Skill whenever you watch this. You are missing a little bit more armor in the front. This armor should go right up to the shields. So what I mean by that is here. I'm gonna showcase this here. This armor right here, because this is kind of a design copy from one of my ships. What it looks like anyways, or is its own design still. Is this armor should go right up to the shields. And then you can smooth it out just like this. Now this lessens the firepower. Now the other problem too is right here, this won't have the same angles or whatnot, but it is lacking a tiny bit of firepower. But when you add enough armor that goes directly up to at least the shields, it will give it that much more protection. 40 hours playing the demo. Small diagonal ships are the best arch. Yeah, small diagonal ships have a ton of power. Okay, now I know there's a few other things that I discovered too as I was playing yesterday, and I want to showcase them. Now, those who have been following me and watching my videos, you'll notice over here in Imperium, and this was very surprising to me, they've changed all the original ships. And what I mean by that, when you come over here and you look at this, I'm going to pull these other ships in just so you can see it. The original Archimedes did not have armor in the back like this. Did not have all of these, or the original one I started, did not have all this extra armor right here. It didn't have all that. In fact, and it didn't have these headlights either. So they updated this ship, and I don't know what patch build it got updated in. But this ship is far more deadly now with armor in the back, armor in the side, armor for these turrets. See right here, there's even armor for the missiles. And the developers or whoever designed these ships changed almost all of them. So if you're coming back to the game or you're just watching this for the first time, here on November 19th, 2023, I discovered it on the 18th, just yesterday. A lot of these ships, if not all of them, have been updated and tweaked and optimized. So they are far more deadly now than what they used to be in the first original design. And I can showcase this even more, because there's the Archimedes, because I saved, or I thought I saved an Archimedes. Somewhere. Okay, here's an Archimedes cannon. That's a modified one. I don't even know if I kept the original. Sadly, I probably didn't. Okay, the original shape here. This is the original shape of the Archimedes. See right here? He does have armor in the back, but it's not even near as defined. You see this? See how it's all sparsed? That was when I first copied it. Look at this. The back is different. Huge difference. Far more protected. Now this also plays an effect with the other one that's also very dangerous. It came out more like in the middle of last year. So if you come over here and you look at built-in ships and you look at the Imperium, and you look at this one right here. This is where they got the back from. See this? See this one? Oh, they changed it again. Well, maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. I think it was that one. Anyways, he got this back from another ship. And so all the ships have been optimized and changed. And look, this one even has tractor beams on it now too. So all the in-game ships, so if you played the game before and you're now going to play it now, the game's going to be different because all the ships are different. They're not like the original design. As far as also adding in chain guns as well. So they've added a whole bunch more new ships, as well as they've changed the ships and they've optimized them to be even more deadly, more powerful, something that you want to face and try it out anyways. So in here, now I want to showcase this other one because I was, you know how I was building, if we watch some of my gameplay, you'll see right here, I built out some of these point defense ships. Now, what they changed recently in the game as well, which I don't know if I really like this change, is if you come over here to Cabal, and I don't know if it's full change, but I notice it because I test a lot of ships a lot of the times. And you get a Polaris here, right? Polaris is a great ship that I like to test missiles and other things on. Now, these diagonal facing ships right here, these diagonal official point defenses that I have pointed right here are not as effective as straight on point defenses like this. And you'll also notice as well, you see how some of these missiles are not getting destroyed? They're literally watching. These diagonal ones, when you have diagonal facing point defenses, they are not as effective as straight ones. To showcase this even more, you see these diagonal ones, and I would face it with other ships. These ones, unless the missiles are flying directly at you, see how they're flying at you? They're effective. But if you have your diagonal facing ships here as supporting ships, which is what I'm using these supporting ships for, diagonal facing point defenses do not cover missiles that are not flying directly at you. So you have to take that into consideration. The main reason why I'm putting on this point is if you play the end game, I have these supporting ships right here. I know I have a test one, but 3.6 is the one I'm going to go with. I'll showcase why I was doing a test on that one. Now these are my laser supporting ships that I play in game. Now normally, back in the past, I used to be able to take 3 of these guys, and 3 of these guys alone could take on a Polaris. Now the main reason why is, you see right here, the point defenses are on the straight line. These point defenses, when you're on the side like this, or you're hovering and it's a supporting ship, can take out a lot of these missiles. Where the diagonal facing ones, unless again these missiles are flying directly at you, the point defenses are kind of almost useless on a diagonal facing ship. Now this ship I have optimized beyond anything. And I'm still tweaking it here and there, but you can see right here, there's literally walkways that go around and around and around. The people that are watching this for the first time are watching this ship for the first time. I know I have a lot of different building, engineering, different videos. But you see right here, they come in and it's purposely designed so that if this walkway goes this way goes this way, so they can get the power as soon as possible. And the longer path back to the engine room, back to the power core, it doesn't matter the longer path because they walk faster when not carrying energy. And even though it loses sections of the ship, it's still functional, it still works. And that's the whole point. This is a supporting ship that requires no actual other resources. I don't require any projectiles, it's just a straight laser ship. And you can see 3 of these ships can still beat a Polaris, doesn't beat it all the time. But the main reason I'm showcasing this ship right here is the flat surface of point defenses. Flat point defenses, along the missiles, it doesn't matter if they're firing at you, it doesn't matter if they're firing at different angles. Point defenses that are just straight flat are far better than angles. Here to showcase this even more, I know it's hard to see, I've been watching this for hours and hours. But if you come over here and you take these guys right here, which I was designing these purposely for point defenses, kind of like I have these other guys right here as my point defense support ships, the smaller ones. The flat ones, this one right here, is far more effective than a diagonal facing one. Even though diagonal facing one should technically be better, but you see these diagonal facing ones, they don't take on these missiles, they'll miss them. This flat one right here is far better when taking out missiles that are not firing directly at you. Diagonal facing point defenses are only effective when missiles are flying directly at your ship. Because you see right here, all these point defenses are firing, but you see how many they're missing? None of these missiles are blowing up. See that? Unless the missiles are flying right at your ship, regardless of what angle this angled point defenses are near kind of useless. It's taking some of the missiles, but you see, look how many they're missing. Look how many missiles are missing. Or if you take a flat ship like this, these, even if they're not firing directly at you, will take out those missiles. So that's what I learned for point defenses on angled ships. It's just something for people that are, you can do your own test for yourself. These ships are actually very effective as long as they're firing directly at you. But the amount of missiles that come at you from a Polaris is crazy, ridiculous a lot. those are some of the changes that came out. Now, I know I don't really have a chain gun ship or anything like that. This ship right here is another ship that Shell built. I really liked it for its maneuverability and its missile placement and its heavy armor in the front. And I was trying to find a ship that could beat it, and that's where I built this one for it to be a match of it. This is the one where I've added all the extra shields, right? And I'm still modifying it, still work in progress. Added the extra armor in the back, and you'll notice right here, this missile ship right here, very, very deadly because of its maneuverability. A lot of missile boats, they're slow, they're heavily armored. This one doesn't have a ton of armor. Now I know this ship right here, this cannon ship's gonna win, because I've tested, well, it should win. Doesn't always win. I can see right here they took out this whole section. And if they didn't take out this whole section, then this ship would have won. But this ship right here is a very deadly ship. More so than what people can... It doesn't look as deadly, but it's a very deadly ship. I haven't gotten to modifying this one yet, because I see some weak points here, and I see weak points in the back right here. It has great maneuverability. I really liked his middle right here. I don't know if anybody's seen this before, but the way he has this middle design, you see how fast they can go in and out from this cross section? Nicely designed by Shell. This ship is a deadly, deadly ship. One of the things that I want to face this ship first is it comes from, and I'm just going to show you where it's, because a lot of people, they just copy ships from other ships, right? This ship comes from another ship. If you come over here, built-in ships, and you look at design contests, and I think it's May 23rd, 2023, from Awful Tears. But Awful Tears is also a copy from an Imperium ship, believe it or not. So Awful Tears right here, see how all these missiles come out? Super, super deadly. I want this ship, I know cost-wise it's not even close, to at least stand some kind of chance against this other ship. But Awful Tears, this one right here, believe it or not, comes from an Imperium ship. One side of it. See if I can find it. I always have a hard time finding it. So even though other people are like, oh, you know, make your own ships, copy your own, whatever other ships, a lot of people are just copying from other people's, and they're just building their own designs and then modifying it to make it better. So I can find it. I don't remember if it's this one or another one. Right here. See this right here? This right here. This right here. See this Imperium ship? Is that right here. Just the armor placed differently. So even though they won the design or whatever design contest May 2023, it's from an Imperium ship right here. Now obviously the Awful Tears has both sides, right? But they just copied it from another design. Anyways, for anybody that's wondering where Awful Tears or all these other ships that people have, so I've had comments on my videos like, oh, make your own ships. Well, everybody takes ideas from other ships to build it. So that's why I showcase all the different ships, because there's so many great ideas from in-game ships, from the way people build, from the way people do. There's so much to it. So this Imperium ship, great, great design. And I want this other small, tiny, itty-bitty ship. This one right here, because of its speed and mobility for a missile boat. This is a fast missile boat. You see how fast, look how fast it turns. I mean, it's not super fast going forward, but for a missile boat to have this much maneuverability, it definitely needs a little bit more armor here. The front shields probably need a little bit more on the front, because this is the main tanking ability. But for this particular missile boat, I really like the design, and I like this middle design right here. I've not seen any other ships that have this right here. This is unique. That's kind of neat. So really, really cool. I liked it a lot. Another ship that I was working on. I rekindled myself with this one right here. This ship right here against my original 2-cannon ship. And I was messing with it a whole bunch. Because of this pumpkin looking head. Now I built this one during the No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage. I used to win a lot against this one. I don't know if it still wins all the time or not. I've heavily modified this one. Obviously, just keep tweaking your ships, keep working on your ships. Find a design that you like, you work with, and then just keep building them. I know a lot of people have watched a lot of my engineering videos and watched a lot of different things. It's a constant process to update them and change them because new designs come out. Like what would be more effective to put on here maybe is maybe put some chain guns on here. The problem with chain guns though is it's going to take resources, right? And resources are your biggest problems. This ship is designed for in-game running around, grabbing resources, selling resources, and playing. It's not built straight for combat. Even though the armor is placed for combat. It's not built just for combat. It's built to fly around the map, do what you need to be able to do, and still enjoy the game in its fullest, while carrying cargo, salvaging, and any other aspect of it as well. So, something to consider about when you're building your ships is, are you playing it for, do you want to play solo, play PvE, do you want to play PvP? If you're going to play just straight PvP, build PvP ships. Those type of things are really important when you're, you know, we're considering what type of ship you're trying to build. Because if I come over here and I look at my ship's tiny shipyard, and I think it was November, Pantera. So Turtle Tipper right here. Turtle Tipper that built this one. And again, I look at all these different ships that people have built in our Discord channel and have helped them out. Turtle Tipper right here. This ship right here. You notice there's no other cargo except for sulfur. So this is a pure PvP ship. You see all this armor and everything? Now this PvP ship can also work great in-game too, but you're not going to be able to carry any real cargo or anything like that. Now the main reason I'm showcasing this right here is just to show you how much damage this thing can sustain. Because this missile boat right here, missile boat, cannons, and everything else on it, really can do devastating amount of damage. Now I believe the Pantera, this one right here, stands a chance at winning against, maybe, depends on if it gets enough shots to blow up the whole front. Look how much armor it has. This ship right here, if you were to face this in-game, unless you somehow get right behind and blow up the engine rooms in the back, this ship's going to really do a lot of damage to you for its costs. Because you notice my ship is already in the 1,600,000, 1,700,000. With this one, I think it's under 1 million. So that alone, for its cost-wise and when you may face it, if this was an in-game ship, what I'm waiting for them to do is literally be able to take any ships you build, which I'm sure they can with mods and whatnot, but make it part of the original game, and just say, okay, I want to take these ships and I want to face them. See, this is under 900,000. I want to take his Turtle Tipper ship and put it in his own faction and face it in the game. Now, I think you can technically do that. I don't know if you can or not. I don't know how the code works in full. I'd have ripped apart the actual and gone into the code of it. But you can take your ships and you can go to the built-in ships and you can save your ships into these folders. But I don't know if the ship actually shows up in the game if you throw the ship into the folder. That's something I have to go research and look up. But that would be kind of neat, right? Take your ships and throw your ships into the game so you can face some of your own ships or other people's ships in the game. That'd be kind of nice. Because if you ran into one of these ships right here, the ships that I built right here, you're not going to walk away unscathed if you're facing a ship like this. One of my ships that I built like this. This ship would do... I know the ship would still lose against like a railgun ship and other things, but if you were to face a ship like this and it comes at you, you'd be in big trouble. Because I've also showcased this ship is very fast and can catch up to a lot of railguns. So unless your ship can move really fast or you catch it fast enough, this ship will come and speed up against you, and you see how much devastating damage it can do. Now I still need to modify, and this is still a work in progress. I haven't finished this design yet, but it's definitely something I'm working on. Oh, I don't think I ever showcased the differences between these two ships. So I know I made this yellow one here, and I know I made this other yellow one here. Now the differences between these two ships is just the head. This one's a little bit more pointy. So Zonsko, whenever you watch this video, for yours, you see right here, this little angle of the armor right here allows it to actually angle this to shoot more inwardly to do more focused fire in the middle. Where this ship right here, you notice right here, this laser can't turn and this disruptor can't turn. So when I'm showcasing this right here, because I know Zonsko took this from this design right here. If you look at this right here, and I still have to fix it, this right here is curved. So you give it a tiny bit more angles to shoot inwardly. See right here, you see how the laser can turn inward? Or if you put it just like this, unless they lose that front pieces of armor, you can't turn it. So that makes sense why Zonskool didn't add armor all the way up to the shields to allow it to be able to turn. But just giving it a little bit more angles allows it to turn and do some more things. I've got to go prepare for turning now. Wish you luck in your engineering adventures. Thanks to WT Biscuit for stopping by and commenting, watching. Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm just making things up as I go with my engineering because kind of want to. I mean, I'll eventually get to just straight building. If there's time, if time permits. I'm cooking turkey. I still gotta cook stuffing. I gotta go cook some lamb, and I gotta go make some mashed potatoes and maybe a bunch of other things. I love to cook, so I'm gonna make a huge Thanksgiving lunch/dinner. The main purpose. Okay. Now I know I have all these other ships. I really do want to fix up this laser ship even more. Honestly, I found that these laser ships are here. Now the cost-wise, cruise-wise, what I really wanted to do. And let me show you the test one. This test one, I don't know if I'm going to go with it or not. Because this test one, what I was doing right here, the differences between the two ships, is all I did was start adding more and more point defenses at the back. Changing up its shape doesn't look as cool anymore. I would have to optimize it more. What I really want to do with test is actually reduce the crew and the cost somehow, but still be effective in the front. Now, I haven't been able to do that in full, because you see right here, even though I'm losing sections, I can still utilize the sides. I can still utilize the outsides. The ship still functions. And if you've watched some of my No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage, where I use this ship a lot, you notice that even though I lose most of the ship or parts of the ship, I can still repair it. It can still be back in battle. It's still a great supporting ship with cargo space, providing main sulfur for my main ships. Has great maneuverability, can still salvage, can still mine. Its cost is low enough. It has enough crew so I can take crew from it and send it to another ship so the other ships are repaired. It's an all-around ship that allows me to do a supporting ship with point defenses that are effective. See how many point defenses on the side as well as point defenses in the front? And I haven't been able to move away from the ship because I've wanted to. I've tried to design other ships that I wanted to move away from it, like for example, this ship, or even this ship. I've tried to move away from this ship. See how this ship costs less, it's less crew? But the problem with this ship is I don't have enough storage. There's no mining lasers on it. It's only damaged. Its maneuverability is not even as good because this shape right here, see how they can get stuck? See how this ship got stuck with another ship? If I had 3 of these ships compared to 3 of these ships, see this ship just glides off other ships? Where this ship right here, it gets stuck. Or this ship right here, which is more designed pure for combat. It's a great combat ship, but I have no space for point defenses. So missiles are going to come at me. I have no place for storage. I have no mining lasers on it. So this ship can't replace this one. This ship also doesn't have as much crew because I optimize the crew. So if I'm playing in game, I can't transfer crew from this ship to another ship. I don't have the mining lasers. I don't have the shape where this ship can still catch another ship. It doesn't do it as often as this other one. So it's really about what you want to do in gameplay. If you have a lot of these small laser ships or other things, and you see how effective they are for doing damage. But they're not an all-around support ship, all in one bucket, for the cost. 586,000, 96 crew, and can do much more than these ships can do on by themselves. These ships are just pure damage. This ship right here can do everything I want it to. I can salvage, I can mine, I can keep up with other ships. It's fast, it's maneuver. It glides off other ships, it doesn't get stuck. It can do enough damage to still be effective. It has enough armor, it can tank, it can get in front of other ships. It has the storage, it has the crew. I can transfer crew from this ship to another ship. Again, I don't know another ship that I have designed that I can move it around. Yes, it's squarish looking, but it's purposely that way so that it can glide off other ships and not get stuck. So I know other people, they design all these cool looking design ships, but would you really have a fleet of these ships? So say maybe example, you made a fleet of these ships and you try to fly them in combat. with not pausing the game, you'll notice that the ships will get stuck on each other. And I purposely like to play the game in combat without pausing the game to really have it as live action. And so really, when you're trying to micromanage your ships, it's kind of hard when a ship has all these catching edges. Even though I try to smooth things out, it still has catching edges. Or if you see a lot of like other people's ships and other people's designs, and you watch their gameplay, you really have to consider what's best for you, what's not best for you, what works for your gameplay with your gameplay style. I know there's a lot of railgun ships out there. I'm not a railgun expert. I don't play with a lot of railguns, nor do I play with a lot of nukes. I play with lasers, I play with cannons, deck cannons. That's what I play with, and shields. Oh, hi, a surprise customer. Hi, Aki Fox. Yeah, we're coming back to Cosmoteer. Building out what we can. I'm enjoying the game again. I know there's these other two ships here as well. I've been trying to work on a similar multi-purpose support energy ship and a flying saucer shape. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, if you're willing to share that, Aki Fox, I would love to look at that supporting type of ship. Now this ship right here, I utilize to see how there's that little edges. Change that a little bit. It has the double disruptor. Did I change the double disruptors on this one too? Okay, the difference is just the pointed head. The problem with the pointed head is you see it has a lot less armor. So I didn't know if I wanted to keep that one or not. Now these are just the small supporting ships that I use in-game. You see it has a decent amount of protection on the sides. Point defenses on the back. This is just a supporting ship, not a main battle one. But it's a good starter ship / moves into as a supporting ship. Now that pointed head, again, you can see right here, I don't know if I like it or not. And so I was utilizing and testing them both. So I know Zonska will watch this later. More armor over pointed head. Looks over blocky. Which one works better? Depending on armor and how the ships face versus each other. This one you can see I can't shoot the angles because you see right here. The laser is sometimes hitting into the armor. But the armor protected it so it can live longer and still win against the other ship. So you have your trade-offs between the two different ships there. Oh, this is the one I wanted to work on kind of next. This is another one that Shell made. I really, this is the diagonal facing ship. Really like this ship. Now if I were to even take one of these like this and face it versus diagonal ship. Now I know this one's kind of just like a hamburger size fat type of ship. The only thing concerned about this one a little bit is I have no reverse thrust. But you see how the shield's protected, the armor protects it. It's a really cool ship. Because what it should do is this ship should still win versus this ship. Because the AI still, for whatever reason, is trying to aim right down the middle and not take out the actual lasers. And it's just the way the AI thinks. But now if you added a little bit more extra armor, the AI would take out your weapons. So it's really about armor ratio to where the AI is trying to decide to shoot. But you see this tiny little ship? It still won, which you wouldn't think it would, but the diagonal ships, it's a cute little tiny ship, 128, 18 crew compared to 244, 20 crew. You would think the 20 crew one would actually maybe stand a chance because it's got more shields, it's got a large reactor, and this one right here only has 2 shields, it only has a medium reactor, it only has these tiny little lasers, but you can see just how effective and cost-wise this ship is more powerful. Plus it's still got these large boosters and has great maneuverability and speed, but can still do a ton of damage. So when Shell built this, I was like, oh, I wish I just need to modify it. An in-game ship, just a tiny bit of modifications. And what I think I want to do is actually start the game over again, do another No Pause Cosmoteer. I don't know if I'll play it on Grand Admiral, because I really want to showcase building more. I guess Grand Admiral Engage does allow me to build ships a lot more differently, because it puts on a totally different challenge. Because what it does, I don't remember the exact values. I think it's like you do 30% less damage and the enemy does 40% more damage. It really changes the game a lot when they can do that much more and you do so much less. You have to think of more firepower, you have to think of more defense. And then when you're playing on no pause, you really have to critically think. Because if I can come over here and I can pause the game and I can strategically place all my ships, so much more easier. But I like that no pause aspect to it. It really gives it this whole extra oomph to it. So I'm definitely going to start building more on this one. Now this shipwright is not finalized yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably going to start getting rid of these older iterations. Stick them in an older folder. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to take these older ones and toss them here in this older folder. So everyone can see what happens to them. I'm going to keep 9. We're going to get rid of 8. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4 there. We're just going to keep 4 for right now. And then I have these 2 different iterations. Now this one right here was my original design. But remember I was talking about diagonal shapes in the beginning? Yes, it looks cool. No, it is not armor effective. See how I have no more of those shapes in there? Only just the outside to smooth it out so it's less catchy. This armor, because it's less, is actually less effective. Even though it looks cool, it is not as effective. Now you see they're stuck to each other. If they weren't stuck to each other, this one with more armor should win more often. But because you see how they get stuck to each other like that, but adding just a tiny bit of armor here, and giving it, and not reducing its weight, this little speed ship can flank in all different directions and do all different kind of really neat things. So, but I would love to see AkiFox your support ship. Round saucer support ship. That'd be kind of neat. So you see this one here with more armor? It somehow still won just because a tiny bit more armor plays into effect. Now one of the things that I was thinking about these ships right here too, because I kind of know this is basically kind of a weak point, I was thinking move this back here, and I did. But if you move the hyperdrive and the actual cockpit in the back, it's actually weaker if somebody shoots you from behind. So right here is actually a good place to put it right next to the reactor, because once the reactor goes, the rest of the ship's basically gone anyways. And it has enough armor in the front. I wanted to put shields on it, but you can see right here, I have no command points left for a 50-point ship for its cost, so I left it as is. Oh, another thing that I also changed the design, which here, optimization, which people need to actually see and understand, because I spent the time on this. I spent the hours, I spent the time testing this. The original ship right here, see right here, no crew dedications. And because I have no crew dedications, and I have no extra crew, and you see right here, there's no dedications. Watch when the battle first starts. You see right here? You have crew outside the ship walking around. Also, you see right here, the people right here have to walk in the back to get out, to get to the actual reactor, to move out. That is bad. Now if I come here, I'm going to restart this one, and you look at this one right here. This ship right here, dedicated, and a dedicated role. This role right here is dedicated and specifically saying these people will sit in these constantly and never leave. That makes a huge difference compared to if you look at this ship right here. When it starts out, you have crew, you see how they walk out? We took away from his position. The crew back here take longer, see how right here? They have to walk all the way out to get to it. So for the start, this is better because the crew that are farther away are already dedicated in their stations and they're not going to leave. These ones, the crew on the back, take longer to walk out. So when you're dedicating operators or whatever it is you're trying to dedicate as crew members, use the crew that's farther away so that your ship is effective. 80 to 90 for combat ships is what I aim for as well, AkiFox. Zonskill, no worries about being late. I know I'm streaming it at some weird off time. The speed that I aim for... Just put the ship over here. The speed that I aim for is around the 80 to 90 mark as well, AkiFox, because most ships go that fast. This ship right here goes at 102. because this ship is little mini ship is designed as purposely for that point. Now this ship goes slower because I took away that extra armor. If I were to take my other ship, the original one that's actually less weight, this one flies faster. This one right here, which has, you see right here, those diagonal pieces, this one goes at 104. And sometimes I was trying to look to reduce the armor even more, to go even faster. But that's why those diagonal pieces are there, was for speed and for aesthetic look as well. But this literally moves 2 meters per second faster than this one that has a little bit more armor. But which one is better? That's a great question. Now this one as well, because the other, I didn't optimize it yet. I didn't come over here and add a crew. You see how these crew are sitting back here? This is a longer path for them to get out to go supply energy compared to if they're sitting right here. Not optimized. Look at this one. More optimized. See these crew? They're ready to go right for a walkway. Speed out. Closer. All the crew in the back that are farther away are dedicated for their stations. Big, big difference. Tiny little things like that make a huge difference when building your ships. You really do. I still haven't finished working on this one. I still need to make updates to this one. I know I was messing with those. I didn't really touch too many other ships besides this one right here that I was building on. I did... Oh! Yeah, here's another thing that I really spent a couple hours on as well. So, this right here, on the internals right here, on the actual supply and demand, I changed these up to work more properly. Now you see right here, this one here I have dedicated to this, and this. And this right here, the main cache dedicates to here, to here, to here. Where this one also supplies to these, as well as to those as needed. In case I lose the main cache for whatever reason, they can back and forth. Now this makes a big difference because if you look over here, and I guarantee I haven't done it to this one yet. Or maybe I have. You see how these dedications go back and forth this way? This one comes to these ones right here, like this, and these ones come out. But the way that it's supplied worse, this one's not supplied as good for the sulfur, for how it's supplied through the ship for constant demand. To look at this even better, let's go back to an older ship. This one I've already optimized. I don't even know if I optimized the original 6. Let's look at it. Some of my older designs don't have this optimized at all. Like right here, okay, this was one of my first designs. Now this is bad. And the main reason why this is bad, you see this? This, when it's only dedicated here, means that they'll only take sulfur, they'll put sulfur here, and only from here will they get to here. So literally a crew has to come here, grab sulfur, put it to here, and then it goes to that direction. Same thing like here, sulfur goes to here, but people can run all the way from the top of the ship, grab sulfur from here, and run the sulfur all the way back up here to put it into these ones, which is bad. You want them to be able to grab from the closest cache. So when you dedicate this, this actually has to be dedicated to here as well, in order for them to grab from caches over here. Otherwise, they'll only grab from here to put to here. So literally they have to take 2 actions. A crew member has to get out, walk out, grab a sulfur from here, put the sulfur in here, and then grab the sulfur from here to put it in here. If you don't have the dedications there like that. So that's where that is bad. And this right here, they'll literally grab sulfur from here, take the sulfur, before I actually change this. Because remember, this was like this, because this is how my original design was. And I watched these guys for hours doing it. They come over here, they grab sulfur, they run all the way down, they put the sulfur in here. Then they grab the sulfur from here and run all the way back up here and put the sulfur in here. Because of how this is dedicated. It looks like it's right, but it's wrong. So, and the main reason why this is here is because during battle, right, you're playing the end game. The people take the sulfur and they put the sulfur in here. And I want the sulfur here to be dedicated here so that these cannons back here can keep firing. So the main cache has to be that way. So what I did here, and I spent a long time trying to figure out, okay, what is the trail back and forth? You have to set it up so that it knows, because once you put an arrow to something, it won't supply anything else but what is dedicated to. So that's why these are dedicated to all these, and this dedicated, and this one's dedicated just to here. So I don't have people running over here from the back of the ship, grabbing sulfur here, trying to run down here or from there to actually supply this one. Just the main caches supply it, as long as these ones too. Now the main reason why these can also go up here is if I run out of sulfur from here and here, and they're supplying sulfur down here, I can still get sulfur from here and come back over here and not have to redirect the ship, because they're still going to grab from the closest. So this setup right here works far better. To watch it in action, you can watch right here. You watch these guys, and it's really hard to see because there's so many things moving around, right? But if you're watching just the sulfur guys, they run around, they do all these different things. And when you watch it for long enough, you watch when you see guys literally take sulfur from one place, and they can run all the way down. And only can see it usually when the sulfur is a lot lower. But you watch them do things that they shouldn't do. And it's just those tiny little optimizations that make a huge big difference in the game. Tiny optimizations change the game significantly. Huge, huge, huge. Big, big difference. Alright, we'll go back now to an actual building and let's build out what I wanted to fix, which is this one right here. I need to somehow fix the armor. And what I want to fix, I'm going to pause the game. I want to fix this design right here, because I want armor for it, but I also don't want to use as much, and I want it to be a little bit more curvy, and I want to fix this as well somehow, and I haven't figured out, so I'm gonna think this through a little bit. I'm gonna add maybe just a tiny, give this a little bit more edge. I don't need all these extra triangle pieces, even though they're kind of cool though. That's a longer piece. I mean, it adds a whole nother depth and layer there. This is protecting that back booster. These pieces I added because I needed an attachment, because if you lose this, you still need to have a way for it to be attached. Because honestly, when I put this piece in here, there were weak points right here, which I had to take out so that it stays attached and still built. I did try to mess with these as well, so I had other versions where I moved the disruptors and tried to move them up. I tried to even add an actual... Now that I'm looking at this, why does Shell build it like that? These should go... I guess this little piece of extra armor is decent for that. But what works better, in my mind, is if you come over here and add this to here, like that, and then you can add this piece of armor, move this one back here, and then these can go this, and it can go down, and that way this will be up, kind of like that. I'll get rid of this one. I'll walk up like this and walk up like that. I can walk in and out. It makes that a little bit faster. This moves just like that. Now this piece right here that's doing this, I actually don't like that one there, because that would slow them down from trying to get into the bigger, well, down? I don't know. I didn't watch that. I want to see how this works. I've had to move a few of these walkways around the way that Shell originally designed it, because they were a little bit less effective. We'll see how that works just a tiny bit more. Now I know I only have 6. What I'm trying to do is the command points. I'm trying to use up all the rest of these last 6 points. I gotta figure out how the rest of it's gonna go. I'm gonna save this ship design. We'll go to 1.5. And let's see this modifications. I messed that up, didn't I? Hello. Okay, there's fire extinguishers this way. It goes in and out like that. There's fire extinguishers there. They're in there. Save that. And then fix those. And this is what you do, just tiny modifications, then go back and build. Tiny modifications, keep going. One of the biggest things that I see right here is I want to add more protection for the disruptors. Oh, I also changed up the other thing too. See this right here? I changed up dedications specifically for the back end, for lasers, and for the shields to be more effective than the original design. Kid's asking me a question. He wants to eat chicken nuggets. Guess I better go cook him some food. Well, it's still one. Maybe those extra walkways played a tiny bit of effect. Okay, because that points to this way, and that adds that a little extra layer. And this little extra curve. I guess the jagged edges are kind of cool. Still trying to modify to make it better. I have 6 more points. I got to add something onto it. Considering adding a whole nother... Okay, my gun just got hurt. I gotta wrap this up. So they are just working on your ship. Is on school? Yes, I've been working on my ships. I gotta go. So if you enjoy the content, please feel free to smash the like button. It helps me out a ton. Helps to push the content out to other people. If you would like, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Especially what you don't like, so that I can improve and make better content. If you have not already, please feel free to subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, that's okay as well. Come back once a week, once a month, and check out what content I have. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day.